Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing wonderful. My name is Carla Caldwell. I am your Live Your Best Life coach. And today, I wanted to share some insights that I wrote many years ago, not knowing how helpful they would be today. So I think I wrote the words in this chapter in about 2014 or 15. It's from my book, Live Your Best Life. And wow, are they so helpful. So here's the story. I've been feeling stressed and like I can't control a lot of things. And because my work involves working with lots of different people, I'm finding that I'm not the only one. A lot of us are feeling uncertain and stressed. So I've been really leaning into my walks, nature, family, and my meditation. And yes, it's helping, but I need a little more. And so I got out my book and I thought, I wonder what I have to say about things. And wouldn't you know that the first part one is all about taking radical responsibility and what an empowering act that can be. Because if we take radical responsibility of our thoughts, our words, then we own our own experience. So instead of blaming or feeling like a victim of circumstance, owning that uh, you can take responsibility of your thoughts, words, and actions. So I wanted to read a few things from my book. One, I want to read the definition of it's an adjective, and the definition is answerable or accountable as for something within one's power, control, or management. So I want you to consider what is within you to control. I've been thinking about that a lot, and how interesting that I'm finding I am obsessing can't control. So there's the first invitation. What are you thinking about? What's causing you suffering? And thing you can control. So that's one thing we can start with. And if your mind is filled with thoughts of things you can't control, the second invitation is, okay, why not focus on what I can control? So I think I'm not gonna, I do want to read this part. This is from page 3 of my book. Taking responsibility is like peeling an onion. There are many layers. When you think you've taken responsibility for it all, there is another layer. It is important and inquire within to uncover opportunities for taking responsibility. I encourage you to be patient with the process. Love is the greatest ally of taking responsibility. Show love towards yourself as you work on yourself. This is a lot. And I don't think I understood that in 2014, that I said a lot in this little paragraph. And I just want to break it down a little bit. Taking responsibility, so many layers. And I'm noticing that as I'm paying attention to my thoughts and I'm asking myself, can I control this? Is this a good thought? sometimes underneath that thought is another layer. And sometimes when I have taken responsibility for one thought, another one pops up, right? It's never ending. And so I do want to remind us this last part of this paragraph is to be patient, to be very patient with this process and patient with yourself. Show love towards yourself as you work on yourself. In 2014, I don't think I understood how deep that was, because at that time, what I felt really wasn't that bad. And now, when things are even more stressful, I'm realizing that it's harder to feel love and compassion for myself. I feel frustrated that I'm stressed. I feel frustrated that I don't feel good. It's as I start looking at my thoughts, I get frustrated because I know that thinking about things that I feel is not helpful. And so I get frustrated with myself that I keep doing it. I think that's what I meant in this paragraph is be kind to yourself, because this is not to resolve in a day. This is our life's work, is to work on being present with our thoughts, to be mindful. It's a practice, and I think me, and probably for many of you, it's a lifelong endeavor. So let's be kind to, let's love ourselves through this process. All right. So chapter 1 is choose your feelings. That's not what I wanted to go to chapter 2, taking radical responsibility by choosing your thoughts. I shared a quote, once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having. I love Willie Nelson. That's so brilliant. This sentence I think is really important. Thoughts are constantly the truth. We're constantly thinking. That the mind does. Personally, the thoughts that the mind has, the mind is made for thinking, discerning. I truly believe thoughts become things. What we think about moment to moment creates the reality we live in. That's very important to consider, especially right now if you are certain, if you're feeling stressed because maybe you're focusing on things control. Remember that thoughts become things, and what we are thinking about is becoming reality. So what does that mean? I want you to think about a time where, for example, let's say you just bought a Prius, and all of a sudden, everywhere you look, you see a Prius. There's a Prius, there's a Prius, there's a Prius. Because having a Prius is now in your mind and you're on the lookout for it. So you feel like all of a sudden all these Priuses are everywhere. In reality, it's just that you are now on the lookout for a Prius. Now, this can also work for the negative. So just like right now, if I'm feeling stressed and I am feeling tension and I feel like things aren't going well, beating in my head that, oh, things are going bad, then now my mind is on the lookout for bad things. And woo, They'll seem to be there everywhere I look in the news and social media. I'll gravitate to people who say things that are stressful and negative. So, one of the best ways we can take our power back is owning our thoughts, and even just being aware of what are the thoughts you are having. So, I invite you to be on the lookout. What's going on inside your mind? As much as you can, pay attention. And what I want to encourage you to really pay attention to is those thoughts that are repeating themselves. One of the thoughts that I've been having a lot is things are falling apart. Things are falling apart. I'm thinking that over and over, and that's what I'm witnessing, right? So I want to ask you, what is one thought that you are having that's causing you to suffer, that's causing you stress? And if you can answer that now, great. But if you can't, I invite you to spend the next 24 hours watching your mind. What is that one thought that you keep gravitating towards that's causing suffering? And here's where the responsibility lies. You are responsible for your thoughts. You're responsible for owning them, noticing them, and being aware. So when you notice the one thought that's causing the most harm, things are falling apart, is causing the most harm. Then I invite you, what is the positive version of this thought? So for my thought is things are coming together. Things are coming together for my highest and greatest good. Things are coming together for my highest and greatest good. Now I have an affirmation. Whatever thought is causing you suffering, I invite you to turn it into a positive and make it your affirmation. This is how we retrain our mind. This is how we take responsibility. This is how we create a whole different situation. I encourage you not to overthink this. I encourage you to trust in the process and commit to the affirmation. Remember that this negative affirmation that you may be repeating to yourself, you didn't just have that thought once. You've probably been having it thousands of times. I don't know if that's, let's say hundreds of times a day, if not thousands. I know my mind goes fast. And so we don't know how long you've been having this thoughts. It could be days, weeks, months, or years. And just like it took time to really make it repetitive, make it a part of your repertoire, it's going to take time and practice to turn it around. So be faithful, be strong, and be committed to your affirmation. And I invite you to consider really saying this affirmation for 21 days. There are many studies that show 21 days of consistent, repetitive will change a habit. Now, you know yourself best. You are the expert of you. I know for me, if it's something real stubborn, I'm going to need more than 21 days. And the older I get, the more patient I get, and I just go with it. So remember, you know yourself best, and it's important to consider maybe you work fast and you can get this done in 2 weeks. Maybe you need the 20 days. Maybe you're stubborn like me, you need a little more. But be committed. And if you can't think of an affirmation, the absolute best affirmation when you can't think of what to do is I am willing to change. Okay, I just want to read these last two things. I want you, I want to encourage you to choose to think wellness and successful thoughts. You are what you think about. Let me say it again. You are what you think about. So are you thinking thoughts or $1,000,000 thoughts? It's your choice. It's your life. It's your choice. I know and trust that if you work on your thinking, you have the power to change your health, mental well-being, finances, career, and relationships. This is a absolute true story. I absolutely believe that. Examine your mind. Be consistent. Be faithful in examining your mind. What are you thinking? What are you creating? Be proactive and choose your thoughts to create your best life. I am rooting for your success, and I know what I'm talking about. It's easy to pay attention, especially if you don't like what you're uncovering, but I do know that it's worth it. I want to remind you to be kind to yourself, show loving kindness to yourself. More and more, I am practicing this. If you cannot show love towards yourself in an authentic way, it's very difficult to truly and authentically show love for others. So that is a beautiful, radical act to learn to love yourself. Something I'm working on very much so. I'm rooting for your success. If this was helpful, please share with your network. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you.